Greetings and salutations, everyone. It is everybody's favorite quest, the pit. I like to go through the pit, and I like to kind of show people how I do it. In fact, I would almost say every single time I do the pit, I make it one of these like little training videos. But this time it's going to be separated, and I'd like to kind of have that separated out on its own so it's easy to find. A lot of people are afraid of the pit, or they just don't like it because it's complicated and overly so. I will agree. But a little bit of understanding and a little bit of get-it-doneness, and you'll actually find that the pit is not that bad of a quest at all. First thing you do when you get the when you actually get the quest, you get this handy little pit restart guide. It's actually kind of cool to look at the first time. Kind of tells you the order of how to do things and all this interesting stuff. But honestly, just throw it in the trash. It's not what we're here for. I'm your pit restart guide. It's me, the pit restart guide. All right. So we're gonna summon up our hireling here. The pit, sometimes, like I said, it can be a real challenge for a lot of people. I personally have found, after many years of running the pit, there is one real secret to running the pit, and I will show you what that is specifically when we get to it. But it's all about never leaving the one ramp until you have to. And what that means is that you got all these ramps that run all up and down the quest, and if you start leaving the path to do different things, you had better know where you're going, or you're just going to get yourself lost. That being said, Dimensional Door is also a real friend, and I will I'll try to show you all the tricks and tips as I go along. First of all, this room is actually not the worst, although again, you might notice a little bit of a theme. It killed me in the hardcore server. I got ambushed by a Reaper, and I stood there thinking that Tobrel would be able to kill it easier if I stood still. And he did eventually get to kill it, but it was after I was dead. So it was pretty cray-cray. Apparently I was blocked by one of these levers. Alright, what we're doing here, though, let's talk about that. This is one of these turn on all the lights puzzles. You can see back here on this back wall, when I can look at it again, that there's all these different runes in the off position. We're going to turn them on. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to light the four corners. And when you flip a lever, that corresponds. You see, I did this like equivalent of a K. It turned on it, the one above it, and the one to the side of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to light the four corners, and then we're going to pull the one in the middle. I kind of think that we might also get joined at some point by Beef this evening. I'm not 100% sure. We are a little bit ahead of him level-wise, and he may feel like he should stay back a little bit and take his level, but we'll see what happens. So, you might notice here that when you turn a lever that is already touching a light that's on, it turns itself off. So by hitting each of the four levers, we turned all the four corners on and all the ones in the middle off. So then when we pull this guy here in the middle, it'll light just the remaining runes. And there we go. The pit is one of the few quests in the game that I do try to make sure I hit my breakables. It's a lot of experience at the level. When you kind of get the hang of the quest, it is very quick. When you pick up a couple of the tricks that's going to be going down here, you'll also feel like it's very quick. Hopefully, that's the goal. And yeah, I am a big fan of the pit, and I hope at the end you will be too. Oh! Alright, that was not intended. We're going to go back up to the beginning. Stupid gravity. It's one of the great perks of having some D-door action here. Alright, if you notice up here, this does a really good job of like lighting the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of move back up here just a little bit so you can kind of see what I was trying to do. I don't usually carry around Featherfall. If you happen to be a Featherfall person, this first couple of jumps are actually really nice and really easy. If you're like me and you don't carry around Featherfall a whole bunch, you got to be a little bit more careful because you're going to be making crazy jumps here. So what we want to do, first of all, take a look at this map. This is the weird map. A lot of people don't like it because they don't understand it. Okay, so what this is a two-dimensional map of a three-dimensional structure. And once you kind of learn the symbols a little bit on the map, it makes things a little bit easier. So this weird shape and this weird shape, you'll notice that they're duplicated. What that means is that is these two big pillars right here. Alright? And then when you look over, there's three furnaces. And you'll notice, like, to me it looks like a fire portal kind of thing, or like a T-valve per se, and then you have three different things of fire. So that's how you can tell the three furnaces. Then you have an electric room, then you have the bilge control area, which has a bunch of spikes in it. Apparently there used to be a little bit more to this quest that had a bunch of spikes in it. You have what I like to call the Energon cube up here, and then you have what, if you kind of look at these pillars, they have these little crystals on them and force waves come out of them. That's right here. This is the, it's not a control center, but it's security center, I think, because it's the trap setting off the sound waves, right? So yeah, that's like the main parts of the quest. We'll kind of talk about things as we need it. I don't remember what this is. I don't remember what this is, but oh, this is that puzzle, that 9x9 puzzle at the very top of the quest. And, yeah, I don't know what this is. Some sort of setting sun in the water. We'll figure it out later together. But the point is when you look at the map, you can tell which side of the map you're on. So, like, when we look over here, we see that there are the three furnaces, which means that if I'm along this way, I should be able to look either up or down and see the room that is for the three furnaces. Looks like it is further down. And with that being the case, we can just like jump and fall down. Make sure that you don't bounce. Apparently, that is my issue today, is we're bouncing. Whee! And I just went right past it because I bounced right off the edge. Maybe I want to do this with a Featherfall after all. Gross. So anyway, after you detour back, because you fell down for no good reason, you can take that knowledge and you can go, okay, well, I have to go over here to this pillar and it's down, and you can jump down to it. Here we go. So we ended up at the furnaces. The furnaces, all the rooms have the different lighting system on them. If it's like this orangey color, that means that you're ready to do it. If it's got a different color, let's just go to a different room here while we have a minute. You'll see a force field and it'll be red. Now the reason why the furnace is special is because there's three rooms in one hallway, right? So one room is ready to go and two rooms are not. Just kind of use that as a little bit of a guide for what you want to do. Alright, so we're going to hit this first furnace room. Man, did I grab my... Now I feel like I should check to see if I actually grabbed my Featherfall item. I've been complaining about it because I had a pair of boots that it was always on. And I hate always on Featherfall, but I like to carry around a trinket that I can kind of switch on, switch off. I don't think I grabbed it because I was under the impression I was going to continue to wear those boots until next level. And then I changed my mind. Like a terrible monster. So anyway, it is okay to have a Featherfall item in this quest. In fact, I would recommend it for large swaths of the quest, but for me personally, generally I don't worry about it too much. I'll probably switch to the Featherfall spell at some point. Now, in each room of the furnace, there's this little blue lever. just for now, just pull those on faith. It'll open up an optional that we'll do at the end of the quest. If you have Featherfall, or not Featherfall, if you have Dedor, you can do it after you finish the third furnace room, because you can Dedor back up. Otherwise, it takes a really long time. It's at the very, very bottom of the quest. That every time I fell down there, this run through, I Dedored back to the beginning because it's such a long run. Just realized that it's a long, long time. Alright, over there is a valve that turns off these acid jets. I don't worry about them. I just run through. I feel like if you're running through them, you don't have to worry about them all that much. And you should be pretty good to go. If you pulled the blue lever, you will get at least one guy to spawn. And then you might get some more to spawn after a minute as well. Wait for this air jet to go by if you don't have Featherfall. And then you just jump to this pillar. Or valve, or pipe. That's what they're called, pipes. We're in Mario Land now. Run over, jump over. And the guy will spawn. We, of course, are in a terrible position to fight a guy because we have the low ground. If Obi-Wan taught us anything, it's that we have the high ground we can't lose. So we want to make sure that we always have the high ground if possible. Like, as you notice, no Featherfall. It's not needed for any of this running around or jumping. It's just there to give you a little extra slop when you're when you make a mistake or bounce, or Didio decides that it's gonna have one of those little laggity bump moments. The path around is pretty simple. You'll notice that I do a lot of mouse look mode for my fine-tuned steering. You can do a lot with WAS. I think it's a good idea. But I'm a realist. I feel like you should definitely take the minute and fine-tune this skill as well. Now, the pillar we want, or the lever we want to turn on the force field to lock these fire elementals in place are behind this pillar. Okay? If you have a really high jump score and Featherfall, you can easily jump up there. I would not recommend it if you don't have Featherfall, or the ability to temporarily Featherfall at least. Just go ahead and run over here, jump around, and come in from this direction. Wait for the fire elemental to see you. Maybe it's going to look the other way. But if it sees you and throws a fireball at you when you're back here, then it'll take enough time that you can run over and turn this on. Now that it's trapped in the force field, you don't have to worry about it anymore. It is safely locked away. We're going to jump down to this pipe again. Again, this is where we were a moment ago. Right there. We're going to go back to this intersection. We're going to go take this pipe here. Off to La La Land here. Alright. Now, I'm going to switch Rune Arms for a moment, and I'm going to light this up to the best of my ability. But you'll notice that there's a little pillar right here, right? Now, you're going to be tempted to jump to that pillar. That pillar is a trap. Do not jump onto that. Just jump over to the far ledge there, and just make sure you have your Featherfall on, or your haste, your big jump, all that stuff. Don't try to land on that little pillar. You'll just regret it. If you just jump over, you'll either make it, or you'll catch that edge and pull yourself up. Not a big deal. Be warned of this jump right here. And then, this is another trap that gets people all too often. Just mouse look at this ladder, run straight towards it, you'll walk right onto it and start going up. Don't try to jump on it, don't try to do anything fancy. Just mouse look onto it, walk and approach it, and you'll hit it every time. Alright, we're going to go ahead and turn this valve. Pick up our collectible, and then we will blow up these breakables and kill this Joes. Alright, and now we're going to fall down. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to shrine. I'm going to shrine specifically because I screwed up, and I do actually would like to have occasional access to Featherfall. But again, if you already have Featherfall, there's no reason to to do that here at this stage of the game. Switch our spells because we're a wizard. That is what we do. What do we want to take out? I think we're going to take out Merfolk's Blessing, and we're going to take Featherfall. Seems reasonable in this situation. Boop. Alright, now we have Featherfall. I'm not going to extend it. I'm not going to do anything quicken it or anything like that. If I had Quicken, I probably would consider it. But I don't actually at this level have Quicken, so... not a big deal. Alright, now we're going to arm the pit security traps. I'm going to show you how to walk up there, and then I'm also going to D-door and show you where to go if you were to D-door. Because now is one of the really excellent times to D-door to cut a lot of time off of your running. But since we're going to run, I'm going to tell you that this ramp right here, when you walk out of the pit, either going up and down it will pretty much take you to every single position on the map that you want to go. Okay, you go down, you go to what I like to call the Energon Cube. It's actually, I don't remember what it's called right off the top of my head. But if you go up this ramp, it will take you past pretty much everything of importance. So here's the bilge control room. Just stay on this ramp. Don't cross over. Never cross over. Just keep going up. If you go to the very top and you have to jump down to something, that's preferable than trying to cross over and getting yourself lost. Just don't do it. Just stay on this ramp. Here is the main breaker room. That's what I like to call the electric room right here. And we'll keep running. Running. Here's that acid pit. If we keep going around this direction, there'll be nothing. So when we hit these little acid pipes, we want to go ahead and walk over here. So this leads to the first room. So now we're going to just look down. Hey, here's a green lit room. The security center. All right, we're at where we needed to go. So now let's D-door and see where that is from the beginning of the quest for those of you who have access to D-door. And if you're just doing this for favor, again, you can get Michael the Pious. He's really good at this kind of stuff. I pretty much always start everything by just going to the up and to the right. And look, it's right there. Bam. See? Simple. Easy peasy. Again, having access to Dimensional Door makes this quest very much quicker. Quickly. Gives you the quickness, but it's not necessary at all to do this quest. Stop with the trog stench. You're gonna get me. Alright, I like to kind of check right over here just a little bit. There likes to be a hidden spawn. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Alright. There are two strategies to do this room. I will go ahead and show you the one that is the most popular, and then I'll discuss what I tend to do. The most popular is to start at the bottom and clean everything out and work your way up. Okay? It makes things a little bit easier, but then I also feel like it doesn't give you certain clues as to what the wheels are in the best manner. But we'll talk about that in just another second here. So we're just kind of cleaning things out. We're looking around. We're getting all these eggs. Eggs is one of the optionals. Here's a good example. Here is a clue. This is a symbol that I like to call candy cane, and it's purple. If you like write that down or make a mental note, every time you see one of these, you'll actually be able to get the answer to this clue or these puzzles on their own. So here's another one. So this is like an orangey color, and it's H. Alright. Whatever words are you have for it, that's the way to go. So, this is yellow, not H, not candy cane. I happen to know what all the rest of them are, so I'm going to just like skip to the end of the deduction here. This is the one that I like to call I, or a lot of people call it double cross. I've heard it called bow. I've heard it called mini shot. I've heard it called lots of different things. Whatever you want to call it, feel free to call it that. I think of it as I. Oh, also there's a treasure chest under here under the water. Get the treasure chest. Treasure's good. Alright, so now once the bottom is cleaned out, climb back up this ladder and you start working your way around. In this case, we're going to do purple, which we did see down at the bottom was candy cane. Bam, done. We're going to work our way up and around all this wonderful goodness, defeating the various warlocks and oozes that are in our way. Heck no, we won't go. Get out of our way, little puddings. Keep an eye out on Reaper mode for when you're killing puddings, that you don't end up spawning Reapers. And I am making all sorts of pudding over here. Alright, good to go. Blue is always hat. I don't know why.
Take it off.
Have a good one, buddy. It's just always a hat. I don't know. The developers just like blue being a hat, I guess. I'm sure there's a quest out there where you can find the example where blue is in fact not a hat. But I would call shenanigans. Call shenanigans for days. Alright, all sorts of shenanigans are on their way to attack. We love it. Makes us feel warm and fuzzy inside. All these casters doing all sorts of mean aggro things. We have 2 wheels here. We saw the orange one downstairs, so we know it's H. I happen to know that green is what I like to call the Pac-Man ghost. Again, all of these answers are hidden somewhere in this room. Sometimes you gotta look up, sometimes you gotta look weird directions, but if you look around in various places, you will find the key codes to this room, or you can just look it up on the wiki. Or you can just remember what I said. Either way, however you want to do it. And then red is what I like to call a gun. Bam. Look at there. As the wheel slides in place, a loud pop comes from the center of the room. Look at that. I'm going to walk over here and pull this lever that was cleverly hidden behind this force field. Now, everyone's going to go, Samus, what is it that you like to do that's so much different? I tend to not do the bottom until the end. So what I will do is I'll end up doing purple, blue, yellow, green, red, and then I'll put my hireling right here. When my hireling is right here, I'll jump down, I'll solve this bottom thing, I'll have my hireling pull this lever, and I'll clear out the whole bottom, and I'll get going. I just find it personally to be a little bit faster, a little bit less double tracking around the quest. Do it however you like, but one way or another, everything is basically the same. Now, the security is turned on, alright? Which means that these little force things are going to be going off at semi-random intervals. Alright, we're going to the second furnace, which is back down to the first furnace. We're going to go down a level. We're going to run around. We're going to see it right there. I'm just going to aim for this little bump out, and then I'm going to aim for this right here, which is what I was trying to do earlier, and I just kept getting knocked off. I don't know why. So aggravating! But we'll adapt and overcome. Make sure we have our fresh shield spell running. The second furnace of the furnaces, I think, is what I think of as probably the easiest furnace. There's not as much complication as there is with either 1 or 3. 3, I think, is the hardest furnace. So if I were to order them from most difficult to, or least difficult to most difficult, it'd be 2, 1, and 3. So let's kind of keep that in mind when you're busy getting frustrated because you're not making it up. That is why. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cast Featherfall now because we don't want to have to disable any of these levers. We want to jump around. I think if you're fast enough, you can do that. If you pull this lever, some of the acid traps will turn off, but monsters will spawn. So I usually just leave it off. I'd rather deal with the traps that I can see coming from a mile away than the troglodytes that I sometimes get lost in the darkness. Lost in the darkness. All right. So as you can tell, acid trap, bam, avoided. Keep running. A couple of acid traps on this pipe. I used to try doing cutesy fartsy things, but again, now I just run right through them. Up this ladder. Because that's the only place you can go with that. In this situation. Same scenario, which is part of the reason why this is so much nicer, is because you just don't have a choice. You have to kind of follow the path. There is some choice here and a choice ahead. We're gonna go ahead, and then we're gonna recognize that we have a similar situation as we did earlier. So we're gonna make sure we have our Featherfall on. We're gonna make sure we have our jump on. We're just gonna jump up here, but this is not the right valve. This is the right valve. This is the valve that we're looking for. This is the valve that will trap all those nasty fire elementals in their hole. All right, so we can leave this room. Except remember, there's a blue valve that we have to pull. And also every furnace room has bonus chests. If you think about it. So, just like that first room, there's a secret walkway over here and a ladder and it goes up. So, we're going to take this post over. Just like the other room, there's a trap beam right there. I think I switched rune arms, so I don't think I can show you two. Switch rune arms again. There you go, see it? And what we're just going to do is we're just going to jump right over to this one, jump over to this one, and our Featherfall has worn off just in time. So we're going to go up here. There's a whole bunch of shenanigans. Wow, a bunch of stuff. In this case, I'm just going to throw a little bit of crowd control up there, get a little bit of damage going on, and then we're going to climb back up a little bit. I'm just going to do the same thing again. I'm not... Well, do we not... yeah, there we go. I say it went off. I wanted to kill off this Reaper, get a little bit of damage out here on these guys. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to walk backwards to this corner, and I'm just going to run up and down while I range these guys. They can hit me. Don't think that they can't. But I found if you have a ranged option, running back and forth over here kind of keeps them from getting that straight line on you that they need to give you the boo-boos. Hey, thanks for healing yourself there, Heal Bob. You wanted to heal me? Thank you. Alright, so resetting the power breakers. Resetting the power breakers is awesome. Again, don't forget to turn your blue valve first before leaving the furnace. It'll be on the ground. All the blue levers are down on the ground. But we got to start planning our next play. Resetting the power breakers. So when you look at the map, there are two things that kind of works for. The Energon Cube and this lightning bolt over here. I believe it is the lightning bolt, and you know how we're going to find out? We're going to go up and to the right. That's right. We're going to walk on our magic path. We're just going to la-di-da-di-da. In fact, I know it's the lightning one, but still, we're going to go up here. We're going to find the room that says power breaker room, or whatever magic phrase it happens to be that involves the power breakers. Hint, we ran past it earlier when we were on this ramp. And it's right here. To the main breaker room. Alright, we're going to set our hireling back here. If you can, you're going to want to prepare the ability to protection from lightning. You're going to make sure that you have your resist lightning on. You're going to put on your lightning booties. You can do whatever you can do to reduce the amount of damage you take from electricity. Because we have to pull 2 of these valves to lower this blue force field over here. And they are random. Don't know why they're random. But they are. So, I always start with the easy ones in the off chance that we just happen to get real lucky and we don't have to walk through where the electricity is. Doesn't mean that it's going to succeed, but I like to give it a shot. Alright, now we didn't get super lucky, so we're going to look around and see where the next, there's no more on this pole. There's a lever on the back side of this pole. There's a lever on the back side of this pole and a couple right here. So we're going to shoot over here. Try to knock these out. Okay. Again, we're going to keep an eye both on the DM text and this force field. And see if it happens to go down. Oops. See if we can. Man, I would hope to be hitting the jackpot by now. We still have quite a few levers to get through. Oh, there's a third one back here on this pillar. Oh, we're still in a bad spot. There's another one back here that I missed. Answering some tells here. Is Precious the right level? Oh, he's not. Alright. I have a guildie who doesn't... Oh! Stand a little bit further back. Who doesn't log on all that much anymore, who happens to be on, is very excited to see somebody doing the pit. He says more fun with others. He's asking whether or not the tutorial happens to be a solo run. Oh, keep dodging. Keep dodging. And it's always like the last one too. The last rune or lever that you end up pulling. That's it. All right, I'm gonna go get a heal. But I'm gonna show you a secret. Same secret I tend to show people. That doesn't have to be the last one you pull. Oops. It's still there, and I haven't seen any DM text yet telling me otherwise.
With an audible pop.
Oh, look at there, we got it. Alright, so just to make sure it's not the last one, we're gonna hit another one, so it's the second to last one that turns it off. That's how we roll. That's how we roll. Good morning, Rets. Welcome to the stream and recording, buddy. Alright, so you may have noticed this ambush here. There's a secret door that corresponds with the map. Right there. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler alert, this can be trapped right here. Right here. And, spoiler al I would imagine that my spot would go off if it was trapped, but it's always good to open it from the side, just in case force like goes through where the trap is. It doesn't hit you over here on the side. There we go. Perfect. Perfection. Alright, now we're going to power up the main control room. The main control room was what I like to call the giant energon cube. And we have a couple options. One, we can take a look at the map and notice, right, that we are here, but the main energon cube room seems to come over here, right? If you just follow backwards along the map, you know, it lines up this direction. So we could jump over here and see if we can find it, but we're just going to take the ramp down. At least until we know we can find it, which means we're going to be looking down and looking to see if we can find a room that has a green lever. Nope, still nothing. Staying on our ramp, though, because remember, this ramp is the magical ramp that takes us to everything. Ah, there, we saw it. It's right below us. So we could keep going down this ramp, which is a long and windy road. Leads us past the furnaces, which again have 3 green lights because open, open, close, but we're not ready for the third furnace room. Just keep falling down our magic ramp, and look at it, there it is. Hey, also there's a shrine. Sweet. Hopefully we won't need another shrine, but if we do, it's good to know where one is. Man, the ooze is hitting us real good today. Real good. Alright. Go ahead and summon our helper to give us a couple of hit points. There's all sorts of like troglodyte scum hanging out, hiding. All sorts of black puddings everywhere. Everything cleaned out. So I'm going to give a little bit of a spoiler right here. For these rooms, we're going to have to solve some puzzles. And while we're solving the puzzles, monsters are going to respawn. You're going to have a preacher. Looks like we're going to have a carnage reaper. You're going to have some big oozes. So we're going to have another reaper, some sort of plague reaper. And then we'll have just a regular devotee. Alright, what I like to do personally is have a hireling kind of hang back a little bit, and we're going to solve these puzzles. Always solve from the bottom down. It's just a habit of mine. Or, sorry, the bottom up. I consider the lighted area generally the up. I think this can just turn this way, right? Yeah. Bloop. We just want to light all the sigils. I can't tell you what the respawn rate is on the guy. Ooh. Oh, that's not helpful, is it? Let's go down. There we go. This needs to be turned. But it feels like it's somewhere in that 30 seconds to 45 seconds range. This is where we're going to get all the Reapers, huh? And if an ooze dies on your puzzle, you're going to have to either click around it or you're going to have some magic powers here. Alright. More spoiler alerts. Once you learn the couple different handful of combinations on these puzzles, you're going to basically recognize a couple of different ones. One, there's going to be one that comes straight down into this corner over here. There's going to be one like we did over here where you have to go back up through the middle, and then there's going to be one that has a really interesting pattern. It probably will be this one, where you end up having to go through the down and around the bottom to light up the one of the sides. Guess we kind of did that on that other one as well. Stop it, you're bad. No one likes you. Go home. Alright. It's probably going to be this one. Ooh, see what I mean? We have to go like this. Bloop. Which means this has got to go down. Which means this has got to go this direction. I don't know. Maybe that wasn't quite so weird. Evening Stormwolf. If you're doing this in a group, you always want to group up for a picture here at the giant Energon cube. It's not a requirement. It's just I've always tried to make that happen when I do a group of the pit. Doesn't happen all that much anymore. But, I don't know. I always feel like it makes the pit a little extra special when you take a minute and share the experience with the group. Some people like to take screenshots, some people don't. Don't force the issue, but I think there's probably 15 pit runs in a row that I managed to get everyone together to take a picture. Alright, we're turning on the bilge pumps. Again, we're going to take our magical ramp up and away to those beautiful bilge pumps. So this is the furnaces. Are we going to find it? Or is it here? Is it on this path? Of course it's on this path. Everything's on this path, remember? The bilge control room. Look at that. So weird that everything is on this path, right? I think it was built to make things seem more difficult than they are. But it's not complicated at all. Just go up and down your main path, and don't try to get complicated. Hey, look, a secret door and another shrine. Wow, all the shrines in this quest. So we have one in the furnace, one at the bottom, and one here behind a secret door. It's like 1,000,000 shrines for a quest that honestly doesn't take that long once you kind of have it figured out. Granted, if you don't know what it's like, this quest can take an eternity. Let me tell you a story about my good friend Tobrel and our first time through the pit. My friend Tobrel, Jeremy, and myself came to do the pit. And let's pretend it was 5 o'clock. And first of all, we're going to go back down to the third furnace. Right? We ran past it. We know where it is. So let's pretend it's 5 o'clock. I think it was actually like 4 o'clock or whatever, but let's pretend it's 5 for purpose of the story. At 7 o'clock, my friend Tobrel had plans with his girlfriend to go to a party. Let's call it a Halloween party, where there had been costumes picked out. I don't think it was actually a Halloween party, but it was some sort of costume party, I believe. I could be making up extra details for hilarity factor. I don't remember. But I know that Tobrel had this party to go to. I'm like, oh, we'll do the pit. We have 2 hours. What could go wrong? Famous last words. So we're like trying to read the pit restart guide. Half of us threw it away before we even got to the quest because we're like, oh man, we just throw this away. This is trash, right? We don't need no pit restart guide. We'll figure it out. We're practiced explorers. We'll handle this. Oh man, one of us luckily kept the restart guide, and it kind of helped us. This I think was before we knew about the wiki. I think maybe we did know about the wiki. I honestly don't remember, but there was not a good guide for it at the time, for sure. Oh, by the way, on the ground, third furnace, third blue valve, hit all those. We can do that optional when we want. So we're kind of figuring it out. We're kind of roughing it, and an hour goes by, and Terrell's lady friend calls him and reminds him about the party. Oh, no problem. I'll be ready. Half an hour goes by. Still not done with the quest. We've been in this quest now for 90 minutes. Still haven't figured out this quest. And next thing I know, it's 8 o'clock. Late for the party. Woo! Still not done with this quest. We had a lot of problems with this. Specifically this room in particular once we kind of got the hang of what was going on. Oh, winner, chicken dinner. Alright, so let's talk about what we did. Okay, there's a couple of different ways to get through this quest. This way happens to be one of the quickest and most efficient. So I'll continue through here. But basically, using the hireling, I pulled that lever while standing on this air jet and got thrown high into the air. Okay? Because I also had my feather fall on, I was able to coach that into landing over here. This is one of those few times in the quest where having feather fall is a real help. Almost a requirement. Not necessarily a requirement, but practically so. Alright, so now we ran across these pipes over here to another air jet. Alright. Now you can do all these air jets solo. In fact, just to demonstrate, I'll do this first one here. But you can pull this lever. It takes it a second for it to jump. You can get over here and get on it and still get up here if you so choose. Okay? Doesn't mean you have to, but you can. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and summon my hireling just to make this fight just a little bit smoother. When we open this chest, we'll get a couple of casters and a... I think he's red named. He may not be red named. He may just be... Yeah, he's a little red named. A little red named melee. Looks like we're also going to get another... a Fear Reaper. Sweet. Love it. It's not too difficult of a fight. And again, if you need to, you can fall down to that area, heal up. But or you can just not loot these chests at all. The power is yours. The power, however, is not great for me. I like looting chests. Alright, we're gonna hit Featherfall one more time. We're gonna look out. We're gonna see this little puff of white smoke. That's where we're going. We're going to that puff of white smoke. If we grab that, we can pull ourselves up. If we land on top of it like we did, we're all good. Once again, we're going to recognize the fact that the lever is right here. Jump up and take care of it. If we cannot jump up here, because we don't have Featherfall, we should have Featherfall at this point. If you don't have a good jump score or whatever, you can walk around and jump to this pipe and then jump up here. It's totally doable. I believe in you. Alright, so let's talk about some of the other paths up here. Alright. And let's go ahead and actually let's do a couple. So, your hireling pulls the lever. You get up here, but you only get this far up. Oh man, what do? This is pretty far down. 9 times out of 10, I'll just jump down and restart. I feel like this spot's a pain in the butt. But let's pretend you have a human person and it's easy for you to kind of manipulate this kind of stuff. So, I'm going to walk around. There'll be some baddies that pop out of this tunnel from time to time, particularly behind you. Oh, I guess this one's going to pop out in front of us. And we're going to stand on this pipe. Right here. But what valve do you pull? We're going to pull this valve in front of us. We're going to tell our hireling to get over there and pull that valve. We're also going to make sure that we have a fresh feather fall for this. And we're going to tell her... No! I summoned him to me like a fool. Yeah, he's not going to go down there unless I make him fall down there. Alright. And then he ported back up here again. See if I can get him to jump back down there again. If not, we'll go back down there manually one more time. Stop. Do not teleport up here. Alright, never mind. I guess we're going to have to go down and do this all over again. So, what we're going to do is we're going to get our hireling to pull this lever. Preferably, we will not have accidentally clicked on him to make him teleport to us in the first place. Like a fool! So bad sometimes. Boop. Nope. Banging my head on the pipe. Banging my head on the pipe again. What is going on, DDO? Come on now. There we go. Perfect. Alright. So we're up here. We're going sideways. La-di-da. Make sure that we have our Featherfall spell cast. Or we have our item on, however you want to get around. We're on the pipe. We tell our hireling to pull the lever. And boom, we launched into the air. Some various degrees of high. So we get jumped all the way up here. We'll get our bearings. We'll look around. We'll see that the lever is over here, right? We can just walk over to the lever from here. But let's pretend more likely we end up catching this pipe. Now what do? We walk around. And then we have a third pipe right here. Now this third pipe, you can see the valve right there. So we hit that valve over there. Our hireling patiently runs over there like a good little boy. We tell him to lock in place. He throws us up in the air. And we get right here on this big pipe. And that looks really familiar, right? We ran across. We, again, Featherfall, we jump over. And bam, we good. Right? So, that's a way to do it if you can't make those weird jumps or we don't happen to get thrown up in the air in a timely fashion. Just using you and a hireling. Again, you can use Ellery, although Ellery tends to get a little bit squishy. The quest has started to scale up pretty hardcore. Let's pretend you're by yourself. And you don't happen to catch that first giant gust like what we happened to do this time. If you catch... Oh, I missed it. Oh, I missed the other one. There's like 2 different pipes that we could have grabbed right there. That would have been great. If you get up there... Let's say you get back to this one again. With a high enough jump score, you can jump to this pipe. You can land on this pipe, etc. This pipe, you can run across. Go up here. Jump over. See, it's the same thing. We're just trying to get over here to this. Now, let's pretend you end up getting higher. Let's see if I can do it correctly for example. Odds are going to be poor. Hey, how about up? Nope. Alright. Let's try again. Wow, I ended up even further off than I thought. Nope. So my Featherfall just wore off. Alright, so here we got back on that big tall pipe. Right? We can jump down to this. Or jump down over here and take the same route that we've been taking. Alright? Or we can try... Again, you have to have a pretty reasonable jump score. And we can jump around up here. And now look where we are. Bam! There's that lever, right? Here's that white puff of smoke that we'd be aiming for if we were feather falling down from the chest up here. So, what I'm saying is get your bearings, recognize where the pillar is going to, or where the thing is going to be, right? There's the front door, right below us. Pew, pew, pew. And you'll kind of see where it's at. Alright? It's not difficult. It does take a little bit of patience. It does take a little bit of luck, making sure that you land in reasonable places. Having a Featherfall going makes landing on things a lot easier. Not a requirement, but be a little patient with yourself. Alright, now restart the intake system. This is the quote-unquote final room. Alright? So like everything, again, we're going to take the magical ramp up. We're just going to walk around. Okay. It's going to take a minute or two. It's a long walk. If we wanted to, if we needed to, we could break off into the bilge control, take a shrine. We don't need to. We're just going to keep walking up. Up, 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 up. Till we get to the very, very tippity top.
An engraving on the wall reads, "To the main
At the very tippity top, we will once again see this acid jet valve that we turned off earlier. We'll walk around the other side, and we'll kind of look around up here. We'll notice that this is now, force field is down. So we can jump down a leg, run across this bridge, and bam, this is it.
An engraving on the wall
intake room.
reads,
Now, if you happen to be lucky enough to have a D-door, right? A D-door from way down below, teleport several things up. And again, we're going to do the same thing we always have done. We're going to go up to the right. Walk, 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 walk around. Hey, we've recognized this bridge. We've jumped off this bridge a couple of times, right? That's it. It's very simple. So fast we even got the D-door back up here. Look at that. Crazy. Alright, so here's the end fight. The end fight can be challenging. It can also be really simple. I'm going to show you a couple of tricks that I tend to use from time to time. And I'll go over a couple of other tricks as we go about this. So I like to come over here to this first lever, jump back, jump on top of this, and then jump up here. Once I'm up here, we can take our sweet time. We can, if you're ranged, take our sweet time. We can knock out this stuff up here. We can kind of dance back and forth to dodge the spells from across the way. We have lots of options, right? Now, I'm going to point out a quick pattern to you. When you spawn these guys up top here, and you are taking them out, there's 2 pipes. 1 monster will spawn from each pipe. Just a thing. You can stand up here peacefully, shoot all these guys down below. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. Now, that's a strategy that I tend to use when I can. Meaning I have a reasonable jump score, I have a good ranged weapon, and I just don't want to have to deal with a lot of shenanigans. But let's go. Samius, I'm on a melee. I'm not ranged all the time. Could you show me how to do it if you're like a melee type person? Yes, I can. This is what we do. You pick a lever. Doesn't matter which one. One of the ones you haven't done. You run over by it. You're going to get close enough to pull the lever, and you're going to realize that things have spawned. You're going to move backwards. You're going to move backwards, and you're going to run back up this staircase here. Up this ladder, which means now we're in the equivalent of hand-to-hand mode, right? We're shooting our crossbow point blank. We got those first 2 guys. We're going to run down, knock him out. See if anything else is coming up the way. There's not. We'll just knock this guy out. That being said, the whole time, if you do not have a way to range, 1 or 2 of these guys are going to be shooting at you, depending on which side you activated. So I do also recommend you have some sort of missile weapon to knock those guys out. You can stand up here. You can line up a good line of sight for the first guy. You can jump to shoot the second guy from up here. But it is useful and advised that you have some sort of plan for doing some sort of range damage. Also recommend that you clean up in here. We already actually have ransack, so we don't have to do any more. But this is a good spot to make sure you get your bonus. Make sure you get your egg optional. Let's kind of knock those things out. Alright, now we actually get to pull our levers. You can have your hirelings do it. A lot of times I do like to use the hirelings for this. And again, as usual, I'll show you and tell you why. But if you have the hireling try to pull this lever, right, as it runs up there and touches this point, Well, I can't believe that he actually managed to pull that lever. But normally, he'll get interrupted by either one of these two casters or one of these two melee guys that spawn up here when you go to step on the platform. For a change, they were more mad at me. So when you step up there, you're going to get ambushed. So I typically pull them back a little bit. One of the reasons I like having the hireling do it is I can stand like up on one of these ledges or someplace a little bit safer and not have to worry about these guys getting me. And then I can just summon the hireling to me after I tell them to pull the lever. Doesn't always work that great, obviously, as they just managed to pull the lever that I really didn't think you'd be able to pull. But I guess every hireling gets his day, right? Alright, I made you a promise about the special optional. The Muck's Doom chest. And we're going to go back around and we're going to head over towards the furnaces. Right? Which, if we remember right from the beginning, the furnaces are across this bridge. Fall down to our magical ramp here. We can look down and see it. I'm going to go ahead and do this fall, and I'm going to go ahead and do this fall. Just to kind of show you. But then I'm going to cast... nah, I'll do this without Featherfall. Why not? Okay, so we're underneath the furnaces. We pulled the 3 levers. And you see this pillar right here? There's a little corner right here. We want to basically wall ride that corner down. That'll take us right to this doorway. Hopefully nothing has spawned or got our aggro because we have fallen in here before. You can see the huge gray ooze that I probably spawned a couple of other times that I fell down here. Then we just walk in this room. Only thing we have to do is get this avatar. It ain't no thing. Don't think any of these damages actually will hurt it. Just straight damage. No, this Runarm's probably not going to hurt it either. It's not taking the negative energy damage, but it just shoot it. Shoot it in its face. Alright, so this is the coveted Muck's Doom. So I'm going to go ahead and fire off this guy. I don't think it matters for named items, but I want it out of my inventory anyway. If you have a lot of shards and you don't have a Muck's Doom, this is a good time to reroll. I have 2. I'll show you one real quick before we leave. But yeah, that's the pit. Wasn't too bad. We did take a little bit of time. It took us an hour, nearly an hour, to stop and show all the different options. If you get really lucky on the pulling the restart stuff, like if you get them in the first couple of tries, it's really fast. Or if you have a couple of people, or you de-door around instead of running around. Doing both, running around and de-dooring, takes extra time. It usually takes me about 24 to 26 minutes to do that pit quest. And I don't know if you saw the experience tally on it, but it was 44,000 plus another, 2,600 for doing the optional. So let's call it 47,000 experience. If you knock that down for 25 minutes, that's very fast. Very, very fast indeed. Alright. Real quick, let's take a look at a Muck's Doom so you can see if it's something that you're interested in getting. I think every account should have one at least. It is currently bound to account, so you can play the pass of the long game, and it is useful. It is an excellent weapon for fighting oozes, specifically rust monsters to a lesser degree. Can I please get my TR cache up, please? There we go. Perfect. I'm pretty sure it's down at the bottom. Here's the Muck Banes that you can get from Dirk's Got a Secret. And then Muck's Doom is a little bit bigger. There's one. You can see it's level 6. It's bound to... This one is bound to character unequipped. The new ones are bound to account. Mine is +3 with an empty red augment slot and is Ooze Bane. So it does a little bit more damage, has a little bit more durability, And in my situation, I have it bound and attuned with some force damage. And then I have not slotted it yet with the red slot. I probably should, but I haven't yet. So again, I highly recommend going and getting one. I use it every melee life except for monk melee lives. And yeah, I think it's a good idea to have one. Alright everybody, thanks very much for watching. I appreciate it. Again, I recorded this as part of my Twitch series, or Twitch stream, so twitch.tv/SamusGarobo. If you happen to be watching live on Twitch and you'd like to support my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SamusGarobo, please smash the like and subscribe button over there as well. Really appreciate it. I'm trying very hard to grow my channel here in the future. Alright, thanks for watching everybody. Hope you had a good one. And this was The Pit. Toodles.